Have you ever noticed something strange? The more you fear something, the more it feels like that exact thing happens. You fear failing an exam, and suddenly your mind goes blank during the test. You fear saying something awkward in public, and your tongue slips at the worst moment. You fear losing someone, and your overthinking slowly starts pushing them away. It almost feels like the universe is listening to your fears. But what if I told you there's actually a psychological reason behind this? This is connected to something called Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But today's lesson goes deeper than that. Today we'll understand why fear attracts the very thing we don't want and how our mind secretly creates the problems we are trying so hard to avoid. And trust me, once you understand this, you'll start seeing your life very differently. Imagine you are carrying a glass full of water. Normally, it's easy, but suddenly someone says, "Don't drop it." In that moment, your hands become stiff, your heartbeat increases, and your focus shifts from carrying the glass to fearing the fall. And because of that pressure, you actually become more likely to drop it. That is exactly how the human mind works. The more attention you give to fear, the more power you give it. Psychologists call this a self-fulfilling prophecy. A belief becomes so strong inside your mind that your own actions slowly start making it real. Not because destiny wanted it to happen, but because your brain started working against you without you even realizing it. Think about those nights when you desperately try to sleep early. You lie in bed thinking, "I have to sleep now." But then another thought enters your mind. What if I can't sleep? Suddenly your brain becomes alert. You start checking the time again and again. You force yourself to sleep. And the harder you try, the more awake you become. Fear creates tension, and tension destroys natural flow. This happens in every part of life. A student fears failure so much that they panic during the exam. A football player fears missing the penalty and loses concentration at the most important moment. A person fears rejection, so they become nervous and awkward while talking to someone they like. The fear itself becomes the reason for failure. But why does our brain work like this? Because the human brain was designed to focus on danger. Thousands of years ago, humans survived by constantly looking for threats around them. So even today, your mind naturally gives more attention to negative possibilities than positive ones. If you buy a new white shoe, suddenly you become scared of dirt. If you finally find happiness, suddenly you fear losing it. The moment something becomes important to you, fear enters your mind. And that fear slowly changes your behavior. That's where Murphy's Law starts feeling real. The dangerous part is that most people don't even realize how much fear controls their life. Some people never start a business because they fear losing money. Some never confess their feelings because they fear rejection. Some never chase their dreams because they fear failure. So they stay stuck in the same place for years. Not because they are weak, but because fear quietly convinced them that staying safe is smarter than taking risks. And the saddest part is that the pain they feared still arrives, just in a different form. They feared embarrassment, but now they live with regret. They feared failure, but now they live with endless what-ifs. And honestly, regret hurts much longer than failure ever does. There's another strange thing about fear. Your brain cannot focus on two things at the same time. If your focus is on not failing, your mind is still imagining failure. It is still creating pictures of failure inside your head. Athletes understand this very well. The best performers don't focus on not losing. They focus on playing well. Because what you repeatedly imagine slowly affects your actions. Negative thinking changes your confidence, body language, decisions, and energy. You begin hesitating more, overthinking more, avoiding more, and life rewards action, not fear. Imagine walking on a wooden plank placed on the ground. Easy, right? Now imagine the same plank placed between two tall buildings. Suddenly fear appears. But the plank didn't change. Your mind changed. Fear creates imaginary danger so powerful that your body reacts as if the danger is completely real. This is why people sabotage themselves before interviews, relationships, opportunities, or important moments in life. They are not fighting reality. They are fighting their own imagination. And today, social media makes this even worse. Every single day we compare ourselves with successful people online. We fear being left behind. We fear not being good enough. We fear judgment from others. Slowly, without realizing it, we become prisoners of our own thoughts. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Fear is normal. Even confident people feel fear. The difference is that they don't obey it. Courage does not mean having no fear. Courage means acting despite fear. Because the moment you stop running away from fear, fear starts losing control over you. Think about the first time you spoke in front of people. It probably felt terrifying. But after doing it many times, it slowly became normal. The first gym day feels uncomfortable. The first video upload feels scary. The first step always feels difficult because your brain hates uncertainty. But growth only happens in uncertainty. And this is the biggest lesson hidden inside Murphy's Law. If you constantly expect disaster, your mind starts preparing for disaster. But if you focus on solutions instead of fear, your actions begin to change too. This doesn't mean bad things will never happen. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes things will go wrong no matter what you do. But suffering twice, once in imagination and once in reality, destroys your peace completely. The truth is that most of the things we fear never even happen. Yet people waste years worrying about them. So next time fear enters your mind, pause for a second and ask yourself one simple question. Am I reacting to reality or to my imagination? That one question can change your life. Because many battles inside your mind are not real battles. They are just scary stories your brain keeps repeating again and again. And remember this carefully. The mind is powerful. If you feed it fear, it creates prisons. If you feed it courage, it creates freedom. So don't let fear predict your future. Your thoughts are not prophecies. And Murphy's Law is not magic. Sometimes the thing we fear happens because fear changes the way we think, act, and live. But once you understand this, you stop becoming a victim of your own mind. You start taking control again. And maybe that's the real psychology lesson of life. If this video made you think differently, then subscribe to Sticky Lesson for more psychology lessons, life truths, and deep ideas explained in simple words. Because sometimes one small lesson can completely change the way you see yourself. See you in the next lesson.